I've done a lot of filming of different elements of the games, and I don't know how it's going to work out because I didn't make a plan or anything like that. I just kind of filmed some random bits. So I guess the only thing to do is put it all together, make a little montage for the memories, and I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following me. Thank you for supporting me. I'm honestly, the gratitude is almost crippling, because without it, I wouldn't be as positive as I am. My attitude is a reflection of all the vibes I get from people around me. Hey, my name's Yona, and welcome to my Olympic Diaries. This is episode 1. Now, I actually wanted to do something like this in 2016 before my first Olympics, and I went on this big trip to Bolzano, back home for a night, flew out to Jamaica, flew to Tallahassee, and then down to Rio. My plan was to do like a daily update, a daily chat, some kind of video about my experiences. Hey, day 1 of my journey of a lifetime has just about come to an end. It started with a 6:20 AM flight from Leeds through Amsterdam, Rome and Verona, followed by a pretty long bus journey to Bolzano. Time to rest now for another early start tomorrow morning, my first training session in Bolzano, and I've heard that the weather hasn't been that great. It's been raining quite a bit and there's been some thunder and lightning, so it should be an interesting challenge, but I'm looking forward to it. And of course it'll be good preparation for Rio, because that pool's outdoor as well, so we'll see how it goes. This time round I really want to do it properly, so here's the start of it. I'm here in London, I'm training with the British team for this week, and then I'm going to be here for an extra couple of days before then flying out to Tokyo on the 21st. There's not really much that I can do, there's not much I want to do because of the whole coronavirus. I don't want to pick it up accidentally and then test positive and then not be able to go, because at this point, if I test positive, it's kind of over and I'm not going to be able to go. Day 1's been pretty successful, to be fair. I was really happy with day 1. First session was a bit shaky, getting used to the new pool, getting used to the new boards. The London Olympic pool is really dark compared to Edinburgh. It changes the awareness, it changes how I feel in the air, and I was a bit wishy-washy in a few dives, getting used to the new boards. It was a bit difficult, but by session 2, I was starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Got 4 of my optionals done, working on front pike, inward tuck and full out today, and then I was gonna maybe do front 4.5 tomorrow, but then I did the lead up, so I had a bit of time today and thought I'd just put it up, and it was actually alright. It was funny, I'd never thought I'd find myself in this situation, but alongside Jack and Dan I was doing front at the same time. We all did 3 and we went head to head on all 3, and I got a point for the best front 4.5 in 1 round. First time lucky, put it down. Well, I didn't put it down, it was just better than those guys, because they made a bit more of a mistake than I did. Hopefully I can do a bit more filming, but I'm not very good with all this. I'll try and do as best as I can, create a fun video which will be something that I can look back on in a few years' time and remember that awesome experience of going to the Olympic Games in 2021, the year after the pandemic. First of all, I'll show you the view from my room. This is what I can see. That just there is West Ham Football Club Stadium, the Olympic Stadium. Just below it you can see the pool. And that's Westfield. And that basically is what I've got to look at for the majority of my time. At least it's decent to see West Ham's football stadium. Thank you for joining me on the journey, and let's just have a good time. That's what it's all about. Let's just have a good time. You catch me just as I'm about to start eating my food. I have made a kind of chicken stir fry, but I didn't really stir fry it. I don't even know what I did to it, to be honest. I really don't. In my hotel, I got a kind of suite with a kitchen. That is the kitchen setup. What I didn't realise is that there's no oven. There's just a microwave. One of those combination microwaves where you can kind of grill things as well as microwave things. And I have 2 hobs, a sink, a dishwasher and a fridge, and loads of pots and pans and everything else. I decided to do it this way and cook for myself because I feel like it gave me something to do in the evenings, because there's really not an awful lot else to do. I mean, there's loads of things that I could do, but I don't really want to do them in case, you know, I contract coronavirus, which at this point would be pretty nightmarish. The majority of my time, if I'm not at the pool, I'm probably going to be here in my hotel room. Tastes pretty good actually. It's not too bad. Today's training was good. I got all my optionals off over yesterday and today. Took part in a little game between myself, Jack, and James and Dan. Me and Jack were on the team, James and Dan are on the team, and we had to do our optionals, get them scored, and the goal was to try and hit 180 as accurately as possible over 3 dives. The 3rd dive we could change the degree of difficulty in order to make sure we could hit 180, and it was about how you executed the dive. And me and Jack won, absolutely smashed James and Dan, by the way. We won 5-2, no, 5-1. They only won 1 game out of the 6. The thing with that game is that the diving quality doesn't necessarily have to be particularly high in order to hit 180. There was a couple of rounds where I made a mistake on 1 dive and then managed to make it up on the 2nd attempt, whilst Jack did an okay dive and we hit 180 pretty much on the point because we got our tactics right. And that's the thing with me and Jack, we were very tactical in the game, whereas Dan and James maybe not so much. That was a good fun little challenge, something a little bit different. I guess from this point onwards it'll be a little bit more kind of competition list work. Tell you what, actually, I saw Tom and Matty do a list run out today. I don't know what it was scored, but it was a big score. I'm talking like near 500. In 10 meter synchro, if you're scoring 500, then you're pretty much guaranteed to win, because I think I've maybe seen 1 team go over 500 or even near 500. The last few Olympics have been won on like between 470 and 490, and their list was immense. They are in a good place going into the games, and I really hope that they can kind of see it through and perform well out there.
Gold medalists and Olympic champions.
Because particularly for Tom, it's about time that he wins a gold medal. You know, I'm good friends with a lot of the divers. Maybe not so close with Tom. I know him well enough, but like we've not been on that many competitions together. But I think anything would make me happier than seeing him win an Olympic gold medal, because I think he really does deserve it. He's put in the work, the graft. He's shown the energy over all these years. You know, his first Olympics was 2008. He won the World Championships in 2009. He's been at the top of the game for so long and just hasn't managed to win that Olympic gold medal, and that's been his goal, and I really think he deserves it. So I really hope he goes and wins at least one in the synchro or individual. I think he could even win both, to be honest. If he's on point, he can definitely win both. I'm slowly building towards that level, hopefully. Nah, genuinely some of my dives are going better. I did some really good inwards today. It's 10 days to go until the start of the games, which is really exciting. It's going to come around very, very quickly. I'm looking forward to getting out there. The whole idea of that I'm going out there is slowly starting to grow on me and become more real and become more exciting. And definitely as I see performances like Tom's today and watch Jack going through his process and everything like that, it'll start to kind of grow on me a little bit more. Thank you. Hey. This trip has been awesome so far. It's been so much fun. Tonight we had a little quiz. My team finished last in the quiz, but that is kind of to be expected because I'm not very good at quizzes, and neither was anyone else on my team really. But I did manage to guess the correct score from the Rugby World Cup final. Originally I went 32-16. I was like, oh no, hold on, 16 is like only half of 32, so that can't be right. Let's go with 32-12, and that was the exact final score. So I was pretty happy with that one. That was my best contribution to the quiz. Other than that, not much else has been going on. Just training, starting to feel a little bit more list prep coming through now. So today I just went through my dives in the morning, half of my dives in the morning, half of my dives in the afternoon, then did like a competition round in the afternoon. I made a mistake on one dive. My other 5 dives were actually quite good, even though there's a little bit of room in all of them to improve on. That's filled me with a little bit of confidence because I scored 401 points with, I'd say, 7 out of 10 lists maybe. 4 were really good, 1 was okay, 1 was bad. Tomorrow, Friday, it is everyone's penultimate day in London except for me. Everyone's kind of coming together and going through a round of their respective lists in whichever event that they compete in. We're basically just going to treat it like a proper competition, which would be really cool to get the timings, to get the routine a little bit more set. I posted a video on YouTube maybe a month ago now of all of my dives in preparation for the World Cup. I did maybe, I can't remember how many lists were in the video, but maybe around 10, 11 lists, somewhere around there, that I did in preparation for the World Cup. And we've done nowhere near that amount of preparation in terms of list work. We haven't done that, but I don't feel like I need to. There's people who love doing the practice competitions just to get the feel in the competition, like Tom, for example. He loves doing the practice competitions and find out his scores and everything, and I enjoy doing that. But at the same time, I kind of feel like I'm in a good place right now where I feel like I can get back into that competition vibe a little bit quicker than how I did before World Cup, simply because I didn't have that many competitions before World Cup. I didn't have any competitions before World Cup. So now I feel like I'm able to get back into that competition vibe, which was shown by today being able to go 401 off an average list. Hopefully when I concentrate a little bit more, when I go through the routine a little bit more, when I feel that little extra bit of adrenaline, it could result in a slightly higher score. The only thing that you can't factor in for is the pressure of that competition, of that prelim at the Olympics, even during like a controlled competition like that, because tomorrow whatever we do, it doesn't really matter. It's just practice, whereas the prelim, that's where it matters. So that's the only thing you can't kind of account for, but I feel like I'm starting to get a bit more consistency on the dives in terms of how I go about it. I feel like the only time it goes wrong is when I get the start wrong. I feel like I'm not getting the come outs wrong anymore. So when I get on that boarding competition, I can tell myself, this is the way I want to go about this dive, this is what I need to do in order to get it right. And if I get the start right, then I think it will result in a good end. So that for me is the challenge now, just trying to focus on getting the right starts every time. And it doesn't happen every time, you know, you got to adjust here and there, you know, you don't get the perfect start every single time, but the variance is much less than it used to be. On a side note, I went to see Levi today, went to have a chat with Levi. We had just a general catch up. He took me to one of the local food shops in Brixton and got some authentic Jamaican food, which was very nice to have just before going because it just tastes so good. We basically just sat in his car and just had a conversation and just spoke about how I've been feeling, what I've been doing, how I've been preparing, you know, looking forward to the Olympics, also looking forward to after the Olympics and what I'm planning to do. You know, his support has been so incredible for the last 9 years. And we said 9 years and we couldn't believe it's been that long. I told him I categorically would not be where I am right now without his support and his backing. But he was just so keen to do that for me because he knew that if he gave me a leg up because of the way that I spoke about my goals, my ambitions, that I could potentially achieve it. And look at me now going to my second Olympic Games. And that's what happens when you give people a chance. People deserve chances. You know, you don't necessarily have to give them multiple chances, but people deserve a chance in certain aspects. And he gave me that chance, and I've been able to make it really, really worthwhile for myself. And hopefully in the future, I'll be able to make it a little bit more worthwhile for him as well, in terms of the partnership and the relationship. This is what, day 4 complete, tick, on training camp. Looking forward to day 5 tomorrow. The days are slowly ticking down until I actually fly out to the Olympics. As I say, the excitement isn't still hitting me, but the closer it gets, the more excited I'm getting. But I'm still locked in what I'm trying to do. I'm still locked in working hard every single day, and it's all going to come good. It's all going to come good.
Yeah, and a little bit up here. Well done, very nice.
Today has been a humbling day, I think is the best way to put it. A humbling day. We had a kind of controlled competition. Everyone but Noah and Scarlett, I think, took part, with a few teams doing synchro. For me and for a couple of others, to be fair, it was humbling in the way that we didn't necessarily do all of our dives as well as we maybe hoped we would. Hopefully mistakes that we kind of just get out of our system, hopefully mistakes that are due to circumstance rather than due to our quality and our feelings and our work that we put in. The circumstances being it's a Friday afternoon at the end of a really good week of training, a really tough week of training. You know, everyone's maybe a little bit mentally, physically tired. You know, it's done in a situation that isn't really a full competition, but you're trying to create the competition vibe, which is quite difficult to do sometimes yourself. I scored like 368, I think it was. I dropped inward on my back after doing a couple of short ones in training and just overcompensating, as I always do because I'm an overcompensator. And then I dropped reverse, but I had a good start on reverse. I went about it in the right way. I just probably didn't have enough energy to do it 100% right and come out in the right place and get it on my head. But in terms of the way I went about it, it's really positive. So across my list there was loads of positives. All of my other dives are really solid, exactly where I want them to be, and they have a little bit more room to go in competition when I get there. But it was good. I'm glad we went through that. I'm glad it didn't go perfectly well, because if it went perfectly well now, it's the 16th of July, I still don't compete until the 2nd of August. I've still got, what, 16 days until I compete, 17 days until I compete. I'd probably be more concerned if it went really well, because I'd be like, oh, how do I maintain this for the next 17 days? I don't have to think about that now, because it's all about building from this point, which is good. On another note, I got some nice goodies and gifts today from Louise, who is the British nutritionist. They have a sponsorship deal with what's it called? Health Span Elite. She ordered a batch of goods to come and then asked them to cancel it, to reorder it, to order some more, something different, but they sent the original order through as well as the new order, so she basically just got double of everything. So she basically was just throwing things at me to take away. So I'll show you what I got. This is what I got here. Hydro tablets. Nice. These are some more hydro tablets. These are Sport Essentials, so probiotics, omega-3 tablets and something else. These are zinc lozenges, which you're supposed to take at the first sign of illness. And then these two are protein bars, so that's really cool. And then also I got these from my friend Luke at Dive Gym. I haven't had a tie-dyed chamois since I was young, for a long time, but he said he tried to find the one that most resembled a Jamaican flag. So what do you reckon? Has he done a reasonable job? I mean, there's a cross just like a Jamaican flag. Definitely not the colours, but I quite like it. I think he's done a good job with that, so thank you very much for that, Luke. And then this is just a smaller one, same kind of thing. This is one of the greatest things about the game. You get loads of little goodies, you get loads of little parcels and packages and things like that that you don't normally get from people, and these are things that I can make last until next year, so hopefully I'll just kind of take advantage of it all. As I say, humbling day, but just resets that mind. One more day to go tomorrow, then all the British divers leave. I've got the whole weekend in London, and then I've got another 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, training with the club divers, and then I head out to Tokyo on the Wednesday. So it's all creeping up slowly. The days are counting down, and I'm getting more and more excited every single day, but trying to just keep the focus on what I need to do as much as I can.
I was asking if you run for Jamaica or
Yeah,
for England.
I died for Jamaica, yeah.
Okay.
I died for Jamaica.
That's
I'm born in the UK, my dad's Jamaican.
Okay.
So,
Where's Jamaica?
he's from St James.
St. James.
Yeah.
I just come back still now.
Is it?
Yeah, man.
Whereabouts? From?
Spanish town.
Yeah. Respect.
Cool.
Respect.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah, man.
All the best, yeah?
Yeah, man, respect. See you, mate. Bye, guys.